Henry and Wendy Smith's arrival shattered the tense quiet in the Andersons' living room. Ignoring Melissa's suggestion of a private conversation, Henry declared they were all family, his forced cheerfulness unconvincing. Henry blamed his estrangement on the late Yvette, but Melissa quickly countered that they were no longer family due to Yvette's death and his remarriage. An enraged Simon accused Henry of seeking a new wife before Yvette's death and rejected him. Despite this, Henry insisted on his unbreakable bond with Nora as her father. Watching this unfold, I was consumed by questions. Why this sudden claim on me? What is his real motive? Can I protect myself and my children from his manipulations? Simon and Melissa exchanged uneasy glances, their expressions a mixture of disgust and disbelief. Henry's persistent attempts to insert himself into my life, his blatant manipulation, left a sour taste in their mouths. I took a deep breath, trying to maintain my composure. "What exactly are you trying to say, Henry?" I asked, my voice low and controlled. "Please, just be clear." Henry's forced smile widened, revealing a predatory gleam in his eyes. "It's simple, really. If we're family, then you should treat us like family. And that means being a little more generous with the family finances. If you don't see us as family, then it's time we officially split the profits." Simon's eyes widened in disbelief. "What profits are you talking about?" Henry stood up, his voice booming with self-importance. "The profits from the Carefree Pills, of course. Yvette developed the original formula. Everyone knows that, right?" He gestured expansively, his gaze sweeping across the room. "Yvette was my wife and Nora's mother. Since she's no longer around, her husband and her daughter should inherit what she left behind, shouldn't they? Not Mom, not Simon, not any of you, really." He paced back and forth, his tone growing more demanding. "If you treat us like family, then we can discuss sharing the Carefree Pill formula. After all, it's just family helping each other out. But if you insist on this distance, then I should be getting my fair share of the profits. To make the split fair between all of us, I should be getting something like 35%, right?" I couldn't suppress a rough laugh, the sound laced with disbelief and a touch of bitter amusement. It was true that the Carefree Pill was based on my mother's original formula. The current, mass-produced version, the one generating the profits, was my own creation, a significantly improved and cost-effective formula. Around the room, the Andersons struggled to contain their fury. Simon's face was flushed with anger, his fists clenched at his sides. Melissa's brow was furrowed in concentration, her expression a mixture of disgust and a reluctant acknowledgement that Henry's claim, however audacious, held a kernel of legal validity. Yvette had died without a will, and inheritance laws were complicated. Seeing the shift in their expressions, the subtle flicker of uncertainty, Henry pressed his advantage. "You are a big family with a big business," he said, his voice smooth and manipulative. "I'm sure you wouldn't want to be seen as bullying your poorer relatives. We came all this way to see you, you know." Miranda, ever the opportunist, chimed in, her voice dripping with artificial sweetness. "Of course not. The Andersons are renowned in New York as an extremely honest and sincere family." Henry spread his hands, his smile widening. "That's great to hear. In that case, when can I see the accounts, Simon? We need to settle this quarter's dividends." Next to him, Wendy added her own subtle pressure, her tone laced with a veiled threat. "You see, if we were being treated like in-laws, then we wouldn't need to be so formal about everything. We wouldn't have to treat every conversation like a negotiation. But if you really don't consider us family, then this can only be a business relationship. It's less kind, but perhaps it's for the best." She turned her gaze to me, her eyes cold and calculating. "You too, Nora. Why didn't you tell your family when you gave them the formula? It doesn't just belong to you after all. We're owed quite a bit of money now, I think." My eyes narrowed, a cold fury rising within me. The Andersons, despite their wealth and influence, didn't have much liquid cash at the moment. It would take at least 3 months for them to ramp up production of the Carefree Pills, recoup their initial investment, and start generating significant profits. Henry, sensing their vulnerability, was trying to exploit the situation. I had listened to enough. I straightened my back, my posture rigid, and let out a rough, incredulous laugh. "You have got to be kidding me, Henry," I said, my voice dangerously low. He blinked, taken aback by my sudden shift in demeanor. I curled my lips into a sardonic smile. "You know, if you weren't so utterly devoid of any sense of decency, you might have made a decent politician." You're certainly good at twisting words and manipulating emotions, but you're nothing but a waste of my time." Henry's forced affability vanished, replaced by a flash of genuine anger. "How dare you insult me? I haven't even had a proper chance to reprimand you for taking your mother's Carefree Pill formula without my consent. You've got some nerve talking back to me." He puffed out his chest, trying to appear intimidating, but he didn't dare take a step towards me. He knew, better than anyone, how skilled I was in close combat. He could yell, but he couldn't win. I pursed my lips, my patience wearing thin. I was tired, both physically and emotionally. I decided it was time to end this charade, to get rid of Henry and Wendy as quickly and efficiently as possible. As I opened her mouth to speak, a glint of something sharp and decisive in her eyes. The room held its breath. Would Nora expose Henry's lies and legally challenge his claims, risking a messy and public battle? Or would she choose a more subtle, strategic approach, perhaps using the Andersons' precarious financial situation against Henry? And what devastating information did Henry believe he held over Nora regarding her acquisition of the Carefree Pill formula?
Hi, Nora here. If you are wondering what happens next, then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Saving Nora Now with the link in the description.